Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think these experiences have a way of dividing our worldview into two camps, those who get it and those who don't. And when you're in the camp of those who get it, like you have this shared understanding that when the ceiling caves in on you, you no longer have the privilege of assuming structural stability. You're forever from that point forward going to be living along fault lines. But I think, one thing for me that I've kind of softened to is how people respond, how they show up or don't show up. I used to also think that humans fell into two camps, like those who showed up in moments of crisis and those who didn't. And the ones who didn't, I didn't want in my life. And I had this really humbling experience with my friend Max Ritvo, an incredible poet who I met in treatment. And we were part of a whole little friend group of, people in their 20s and 30s. We're all being treated at the same hospital. And we had a buddy system and we would hang out all the time. And it was just like such a beautiful crew. And by the time I finished treatment nearly 4 years later, only 3 of us, of 10 of us, were still alive. And a couple months after I finished treatment, while I was on this road trip that I took when I was recovering from all that, I got an email from my friend Max saying that his cancer was back, that there were no treatment possibilities, and essentially that he was going to die. And I knew in that moment what the right thing to do was. I knew I should write to him. I knew, at that point I had sent musical telegrams and care packages and helped plan memorials and really prided myself on being the person who shows up and who is a good friend in difficult moments. And I couldn't do it. I had experienced so much loss and I couldn't bear the thought of losing him too. And I couldn't bring myself to write him an email. And a day passed, and then a couple days, and then a week, and 2 weeks. And it was horrifying because I'd been on the receiving end of that silence before. I know what a cruelty it is to be met with silence by someone who you expect to be the first to say, I love you, I'm here, let me walk your dog, I'm dropping off food, whatever it is. And I think what that taught me is that there are certain people who don't show up because they're just a shitty friend and you don't need them in your life. But then there are times when someone can't show up, but not because they don't want to, with like every fiber in their being, but because they're dealing with something that makes it difficult for them to be there for you in the way that they want to be. And it was such a sobering experience for me to be that person. And we did end up reconnecting.
Kind of conflicting thing that just obstructs love, but that there's still enough love.